My experience of Dutch players is that tactics are something that sort of part and parcel of your upbringing as footballers as you come through the Netherlands. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I think we see football technical and tactical and technical. These two aspects are the most important. Physical comes later. So even when I was 10 years old, they tried to learn me how to play system-wise, what you want tactic-wise. So I think it's something that's in the Dutch school. So I always like it to see it that way, football, and I think it's also really important.
You've played for some big teams. A lot of players say they don't realise quite how big Manchester United is until they get here. It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge club. It's a huge club. I mean, as you said, worldwide, one of the biggest clubs in the world. I've been lucky in my career to play for already some of the biggest clubs in the world. So I think I'm quite used to a lot of these things. But yeah, United, especially in what you say, like in the States, but also in Asia, it's a different story. And what I said, it says enough about how big this club is and how worldwide well known it is.
Going to talk to you about the new additions to the squad. There've been 3 of them now in Bryan Mbeumo, Matthias Cunha and Diego Leon. What have you made of the additions to the club?
Yeah, I think they made a really good impression. Brian is here 2-3 days, so we can't say too much about it, even that he scored already some good goals in the training. So yeah, I think we can be really happy with him. Matteo is here for 2 weeks now and he's training really well. Obviously a new club, new environment, but you see that he's already chatting with teammates, making jokes with teammates. So I think that's also a really good adaptation from him. Diego is a little bit younger, but also a player with a lot of talent, really strong, really physical. Obviously comes from a different system, so probably tactical he has to learn a little bit, but all the physical and technical abilities are with him to become a really good player. So yeah, until now I think a really good window, and yeah, hopefully they can help us as much as possible this year.
You've played against Brian and Matthijs before they arrived at Manchester United. What did you make of them as opponents, and what are you looking forward to having in the Manchester United side from them?
Yeah, I think Matteo is really a technical player, Brazilian flair, really good with the ball, also really fast. I didn't expect that, but he's also quite fast. So yeah, really good player, really attacking midfielder, scores goals, gives assists. So really good addition. I think Brian is more like he's really efficient. I think he just needs one action, go to his left foot and score. And this is, I think, one of the biggest qualities in football is to have the ability to score goals. And I think he can really help us with that. And as I said, Diego is a really young guy who brings a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm also to do well. Yeah, he's also a good addition for the competition in our team.
Having a little look back over your time at Manchester United, how do you reflect on how last season went, and how do you feel about your progression so far at United?
Yeah, I think last season was especially in Premier League was a difficult season. A lot has happened. Obviously on the Europe was completely the other side. We reached the final. Unfortunately we didn't win it, but I think we had a really good run there. But in the end I think the Premier League is the most important thing, and we all know that we didn't do well enough last season. So I think we're all really hyped and fired up to show, especially the fans, because they deserve the most from us, to show them what United is and that we want to win every game. So yeah, I think it's good it's a nice feeling to start over again, because it gives you a fresh start, clean slate, and hopefully we can really from the start go winning matches and get like this positive vibes and feeling back with us.
Yeah, I think that's right. And also, how do you, like personally, it must be quite difficult, because there are times where you've played really well in a team that maybe hasn't performed as well as it could have done, and yet you want to be on board with the rest of them as you try and move in the same direction. How do you square that circle?
Yeah, obviously it's as a football player you want to win games, and especially if you play for a club like United, it's one of the biggest clubs in the world, so you have to win games. If you don't win games, then obviously the feeling is become negative more, and it's as a player it's quite difficult to to be at your best in that situation. I always try to be as good as possible to help the team, and yeah, hopefully I can help the team even more this season to reach the goals that we have.
So you scored a couple of goals last season. You got Ipswich at the Stretford end in a 3-2 win. How enjoyable was that moment? And there's a follow-up question coming afterwards. So how enjoyable was that?
Yeah, it was really nice feeling. First goal at Old Trafford, a lot of emotion, also from my side, from the fans. So it was a really nice feeling, and it was especially nice because we won the game in the end. So yeah, I couldn't be happier at that moment.
You've also been involved in some brilliantly well-timed challenges that have got the same kind of reaction from the crowd. So if you could pick one or the other, is it the perfectly timed challenge or is it a goal at the Stretford end?
No, it's a goal. It's a goal. I think every football player, when he's young, he wants to score goals, and especially as a defender, it doesn't happen so often that you score a goal. So if the ball goes into the net, the happiness that you get from that is not comparable with any sliding tackle, in my opinion.
You picked up, for me, your best form sort of March, April last season when you were absolutely flying, and then unfortunately you picked up the injury and it sort of set you back. Is that the level of form that you're looking to replicate this season, or is there more to come from Matthijs de Ligt?
Yeah, I think as you said, like especially I think I was quite stable in this season, but especially in March, April, I think I showed something more, and I know that there's more in the tank for me to show. But the most important thing is to get fit, to be in the right shape. As you said, unfortunately, I got the injury at the annoying moment in the end of the season when when you play for everything, you know what I mean? In our case, especially the Europa League. So I was really disappointed with that. So hopefully I can now keep on staying fit, keep improving every day, and especially help the team to grow also. So yeah.
You're 25 years old. You've got the peak part of your career is coming up right now, where you can really kick on and move forward. How much more is there to come from you, do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think sometimes me and other football fans forget that I'm still 25, and as a centre back normally you're in prime at 28, 29 probably. So yeah, I'm in that way still quite young. I've been to a lot of places, so sometimes I don't feel that way, but yeah, I have the feeling that there's still a lot more to come. So hopefully we can, together with United, can build something to show the world what we're capable of.
I'm going to talk to you briefly about the game against Fiorentina, if that's okay, which is the one when we get back to Old Trafford. That's one last test, I suppose, before the Premier League starts. A completely different style, completely different team. So you're going to play 3 Premier League teams here and then an Italian team. How important is that to sort of test yourself against a different style of football?
Yeah, it's important. I think to be fair, it's really important that we practice against 3 Premier League teams, because that's also where we last year had some difficulties. If you look at the way we ended the season, so I think that's really important to also get already this feeling of, okay, this is the Premier League, because it's a different game compared to Europe. You could see this last season. So I think that's for sure really important, but then it's also nice at the same time to play against an Italian team who has a different style of play. What is actually a really good team, because I still follow Italian football, so I know a little bit how they play. So yeah, it's also really nice to come up against them and hopefully to make a next step in our development as a team.
Italian football has a reputation of being a bit slower and a bit more defensive. I don't know about you, that feels to be changing with teams like Fiorentina and Napoli, who have been absolutely brilliant this season. You played with Juventus in Italy. How would you pick the differences between the Premier League and Serie A?
Yeah, I think it's less intense. Sprint-wise, like in England, the sprints and like the intensity is the highest I've experienced. But Italy, I think Italy is more tactical, is more waiting on the moment instead of just a lot of running. So it's a different type of game, and it's funny because you always see that it's not doesn't say that the English football is better than Italian. You see also like a lot of times, like I mean, Inter reached the final of the Champions League this year. So it's like football is a strange game, and sometimes certain tactics works better against other tactics. And so yeah, it's really nice to come up against a really good Italian team and to show also, to see also compared to them where we are.
Juventus-Fiorentina, let's talk about that. One of the many rivalries in Italian football. It's all over the place. What do you remember about playing in those games?
Yeah, that was really intense. I remember playing away in Fiorentina was probably one of the most, one of the places where I felt the most hated at that time. What was actually really nice, because I like this rivalry. I like this feeling of not being welcome at the opponent's stadium. I think I never won there also, maybe once, but not many wins, Fiorentina away. So yeah, it's always been a really good opponent with a lot of good players, and yeah, it was always really nice to play against them.
Love that. Just finally, what are your personal aims with Manchester United this season, and what are your hopes for the team?
Yeah, personally, I would love to carry on the way, like we said, like from March, April, because I have the feeling that is the level that I could show and should show on a consistent basis. So that's my personal goal, also to stay fit, what is really important. And then with the goal with the team is like I think to really show everybody what it is to play for Man United, to show to get a positive vibe again around the team, around the club. Yeah, I think that's the most important goal for me, and then I'm sure that the results will follow.